Rogue Farmer here. Today what I'm going to plant and install is a banana circle right behind me here on the corner of this flat that we're designing for this agroforestry system. Here's the entrance on this bottom shelf here. So we're going to keep a walkway entrance in, and on this corner is where I want to design a nice banana circle. So that's what I'm laying out here. I have my tape measure out, and I'm using my fruit picker here as a measuring stick that's 6 feet long. So that's the diameter that I'm going to use, is 6 feet. And we'll just do the outer edge here. I'm also going to dig down about 3 feet deep, excavate out the soil, and we can help build up the berm because we still have somewhat of slope here. Perfect day to work, get out and dig a hole. And my phone fell over, so you don't get the action sequence here, the time lapse, but you get to see the aftermath here. So this here is a hole for a banana circle that I'm installing. This is about a 6 foot radius hole, and we went down about close to 3 feet in the middle, probably about 2.6, 30 inches or so. And with the excess fill that we dug out, I kind of armored the side here. You can see just built up this bed. We're leveling out this flat for the bottom row of this agroforestry nest that we're building. Technically, it's not part of agroforestry. It's more like a permaculture design element, but they're fun to do, and you can incorporate them into a agroforestry system. So why not? Been doing some other earthworks. This is a wash through here, and I just carved in a channel across the top of this bed to catch water. I'd also like to feed this banana bed because bananas like a lot of water. They don't like to be, sitting in a pool, but they do like a lot of water. And this wash is naturally where we had a lot of water flowing down. You can see through here and down into here. There's a step, and then it steps even steeper down there. There's some erosion that was happening. So we're going to redirect that water, use it for this bed, sink it into this pit. And so the banana pit will have wood chips, much like a hugelkultur. Essentially it is a hugelkultur. We're going to fill it with logs first, just like you would a hugelkultur. Rotten wood is better. If it's been inoculated with mycelium, the better. So older logs, branches on top of that, like ramial chips, ramial branches, like 2 to 4 inch branches. And then we can do wood chips on top of that. We can do leaf mold and topsoil on top of that, and then plant our bananas right into that. Banana circles require a lot of biomass. Once these really get going and the middle area decomposes that wood, we can throw compost and food scraps, manure in there, a lot of carbon, woody materials, and it's going to decompose and sink down into this pit pretty quickly, in fact. So if you're going to do a banana circle, it's good to have a lot of materials on hand because you will need to feed that circle. I'm going to go gather some wood. So this log is a prime example, and most of these logs look the same. Nice and rotten, falling apart, being eaten up by ligneous hungry fungi. That's what we want.
Are you going to cover it with compost or just soil?
I want to take some really good leaf mold up here on the hill, the very top, and it has a bunch of mycelium in it.
Nice.
So I would like to top it with that.
Hello. I don't really get the point of the hugelkultur. Like, what is I know it's like composting.
Oh,
You're putting in there, but
well, all these logs are rotting. Like you see all this mycelium. This is lignis-eating fungus is just destroying this carbon sequestration, and it just creates like really dank humus for whatever you're planting in there to grow into. So you get all that biology, and then you're just creating soil.
yeah.
Like if you dig this up in a year, this will all just be super dank, like full of mushrooms.
Yeah.
And once you get these banana circles really cranking, you got to feed these a lot. They take a lot of biomass.
Keeping an entrance right here to bring compost wheelbarrow down to dump organic matter and mulch to feed the compost pile here.
We're going to plant the bananas besides this entrance here, 2.5 feet spacing. We're going to top this off with just topsoil. We'll leave it concaved after filling in a few inches of topsoil. And then we're going to build a berm.
Last but not least, I'm gonna water these bananas in. Just make sure it gets drenched in real nice from the start.
As all these wood chips kind of decompose and settle, it'll sink a little bit. So I'm planning on filling this in pretty soon with some compost, but I want to just soak it all in first. Especially around all the individual bananas, just to get that root ball. So after I get this really primed, I'm going to let it sit overnight. Tomorrow before the sun comes up, I'll come in and do a nice mulch with some wood chips. beautiful, peaceful morning here. Harbin Hills agroforestry installation. You can see our banana circle we planted yesterday. It's got this concave little bowl in the center. You can see our spacing about 30 inches. And then we have a little bit wider spacing over here for the entrance for biomass coming in. We can just dump from a wheelbarrow. And then we soaked it in last night, and we actually had a little bit of precipitation, very humid, about 80% humidity, and a light sprinkle. So that was really nice. Everything's really moist this morning before the sun comes up. And I got this bucket of some really nice inoculated wood chips here. We're gonna add into the center and just top off our circle. So this will be the first of many to come, and it'll decompose into really available nutrients for these bananas. They'll love it, and we can just keep adding to this pile. Carbon and nitrogen, both wood chips, food scraps, manure, grass clippings, tree trimmings. We have some compost from the house. Very appropriate. We have some banana peels for the banana pit. So the bananas will love that. We have some green tea, we have some kitchen scraps, some coffee grounds, all kinds of good stuff in here. It's gonna go. This is a compostable bag too, but we're just gonna pour it out just to see what we got. More banana peels, coffee filters, all kinds of good stuff. A bunch of banana peels in here, so that is really nice. Some eggshells. There's an avocado pit in there. Maybe it'll sprout. We'll see. So, really, this is a digestion chamber here. So, we're going to be piling a lot of organic matter, layering it with wood chips, woody materials, and all kinds of different biomass. So, this is what we're doing, and this is the first so-called feeding for our pit. Kind of open composting. I might bring a layer of wood chips over here and just cover this up so it doesn't oxidize too much here. All right, so we have some chop and drop classic comfrey supporting this perimeter of the banana circle here. Made a little berm, and we're gonna plant the comfrey on this side of the berm. Bananas will be on the inside to create more of that concave pit and help to retain moisture, keep all the newts in there, and then we'll have the biomass around the outer edge, this comfrey. So we're gonna break off some crowns of this comfrey we started. Yeah, that's one big root right there. Another little chunk of our crown on the rhizome. There we go. But so what we did is we built up a little berm here. It's only about a foot tall, but it distinguishes the kind of inner digestion chamber is what I call it. And it's gonna help to retain the moisture and nutrients inside so we don't get a bunch of runoff. So this kind of captures nutrients, captures moisture, creates a protective boundary between the bananas. And then also we have our perimeter of comfrey. This is our support chop and drop perennial species that we planted about every 30 inches to 3 feet around the perimeter here. You can see soak those in. The only place I didn't plant comfrey was here at the entrance, because we want to be able to walk into the entrance, dump our compost, have a wheelbarrow we could dump in there. So that was the thinking behind that. So that's what it's looking like to date. And this comfrey, once it really grows in, we can chop that back, we can toss that into our digestive chamber in here, let that break down and become available nutrients for the bananas. Comfrey grows back really quickly and will just create a lot of biomass, perennial. So it also spreads through rhizomes. So once you have comfrey, it's sticking around for a while. We're gonna add a bunch of JMS to the banana pit too. Really inoculate this. This is a Hugelkultur under here. And you can see it's also a compost pit. So it's what I call a digestion chamber over here, which is essentially a circular hugel. But this will help to supercharge this hugel. And we're gonna spray everything. Here we are a month after planting our banana circle. And you can see that we have a bunch of leaves fanning out from the inside. Bananas will send up a shoot after they've been cut back from the center, and that shoot will stem out and form a leaf, kind of flag out, and then it opens into this leaf here. So you can see these banana leaves forming. And we also have a pup that shot up here. So these little pups will shoot off of the roots of the bananas, and this is how they multiply. And you can really take these pups, break them off once these are established. That is, I wouldn't do that right away. Wait till there's 3 or 4 before you're ready to take a pup off. But this is how we can essentially multiply and propagate our bananas to take elsewhere. So I anticipate we're going to have a lot more pups popping off of all of these bananas, because these are all independent root balls from different bananas. So we have the ice cream, vanilla ice cream, and the classic Cavendish here. You can see though some really nice leaves forming from all these bananas. So a pretty short time, they've grown quite a bit. You can see that biomass is one of the big reasons that bananas are used so much in agroforestry. Obviously they grow bananas, and who doesn't love bananas? The biomass aspect, chopping them back and feeding those bananas to the food forest. So technically these banana circles are a permaculture design element. However, they fit nicely into syntropic agroforestry systems. If you're liking this content, by the way, please like, subscribe, share, so we can get the algorithm really moving and really expose regenerative farming, natural farming, syntropic agroforestry, and permaculture to the masses, and really get this information out there. If you're more interested to see how this banana circle fits into the larger system at work here, and the different guilds that we're using down these rows here, then please check out this video here.